a very important part of having a successful career is that your purpose is aligned with your core values. And it really took me a long time to dig deep and find these core values, to really look beyond the layers. It's what is it that I'm really passionate about? You're expected to raise children like you don't have a career, and you're expected to have a career like you don't have children, but it doesn't really work this way. We want to do so many things. We expect too much of us that we're not realistic when we're managing our time.
Hello, you're watching Tea Time Tuesday. I'm Rashan Gidwani. How do you manage to pursue a successful career while also having personal commitments? Is it possible to have a thriving career and a fulfilling personal life? And more importantly, how do you prioritize your mental health and well-being while juggling all of these responsibilities? These are just some of the questions we'll be exploring today with organizational psychology consultant, coach, and speaker, Marissa Nasution. Hi Marissa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm very well, thanks.
So let's get into it. Marissa, my first question is, what's the driving force behind your successful career while juggling personal commitments?
Well, my driving force for I think everything that I do is first and foremost my family and also the support that they give me. But I think beyond that, I would say a very important part of having a successful career is that your purpose is aligned with your core values, that you are passionate about what you do, so your work is also meaningful to you. Because I think when we talk about success in society in general, it's interchangeably used with what we call financial freedom or also being rich. But success in itself, I think it's a very individual concept. What success means to me is maybe wildly different from what success means to you. So aligning this, your purpose, your core values, and your definition of success, I think that gives you a wholesome career.
Okay, I have to ask, what does success mean to you, Marissa?
Success means to me that I am of service to others. I feel like in my previous career, I have spoken so much, I have done so many things that now I really wanted to give back to the community, to give back with what I love. And it really took me a long time to dig deep and find these core values, to really look beyond the layers. It's what is it that I'm really passionate about and that I want to leave behind for my children, the world, a legacy in a way.
So let's face it, balancing work and family, it can be tough, right? But as an entrepreneur and a mother, how have you managed to prioritize your mental health and well-being while staying motivated and focused?
I think everyone who is a parent knows that raising children is not an effortless job. But we're kind of expected, especially women, that it is effortless. You're expected to raise children like you don't have a career, and you're expected to have a career like you don't have children, but it doesn't really work this way. So for me, I realized, and this is something that I tell all of my clients and friends, is to be realistic. We want to do so many things. We expect too much of us that we're not realistic when we're managing our time. So for me personally, for example, when I send my children to school, that's the time when I deep dive into work. I take these hours away from my family to really focus on my career and what I want to do. But come 4 p.m., I pick up the children, my workday is done. I want to prioritize and really spend quality time being present with my children. And I think that helped me a lot to make these boundaries for myself and these distinctions, that these are my priorities, but they are separate from each other, and I need to be present in both of them to really maximize and optimize my time.
Now let's talk about how we can all advocate for our mental health in the workplace.
Yeah.
Any tips or tricks that you can share with our fellow superwomen out there?
Fill your own cup first. So this is one analogy that I loved a lot is, imagine you're going on the plane and you're listening to the safety briefing. And they always say, when the oxygen masks come down, take your own mask first and then help the others. First of all, you think, wow, that's super selfish. But then if you really think about it, if you don't take care of yourself physically, mentally, how can you be 100% of service to the people that you love and that you care about. If I'm suffering inside, this will show my family that I'm suffering. You will have like bad energy coming from me. So you need to really take care of yourself. And I think this is something where women do not take time for themselves. It's really hard for a mother to say, I need to take 3 days away from my family, because then immediately you come up with the stereotype of like, you're not a caring mother. And this is like this societal guilt and pressure that has been like pushed upon these women. So I think it's important to put yourself first. And this is not selfish. It's really just to like keep your mental and physical health in balance.
Okay, so discussing mental and physical health, are there any things you do like yoga or meditation that help you stay well?
I can highly advocate for taking a break in whatever works for you. If you work and you feel like the anxiety with stress at work is coming up, or you feel even like the anxiety like being currently with your children is like bubbling inside, you need to go to your support system, like if that's your family or your husband, and say, I need to take a break right now, which means I'm just going to like walk outside of the house and go for a 10 minutes walk in the sun or even in the rain, which is like also something that's a really nice thing to do, and just distance myself to gain perspective. Because when our body and our brain goes into this like fight and flight mode, you really just need to take a step back and gain balance again. And this is something that I can highly advocate for. Be outside, be in nature, because it also makes you appreciate the small things. Like I go on a walk after like working like for 3 hours on the laptop, and I just see a beautiful flower, or I just see a bird that I haven't seen before. And it makes you take things back into perspective of like what's really important to you and takes you away from the hustle and bustle of like daily life.
How do you know that you've reached that level of anxiety?
So one big tip that I can give is that your first cue is your body. So a little bit like background, like my favorite organ is the brain. So this is like a bit like sciencey, but your brain takes in information all the time. So when all of these sensory information that you take in and like your internal information are not in balance, you will feel it. You will feel your heart pounding. You will feel like somebody is like sitting on your chest. You feel the anxiety bubbling up. And sometimes it's hard for us if we're not necessarily like aligned and accustomed to listen to our bodily cues. We don't know where this is coming from and we just brush it off. Oh, it's just work stress. Oh, it's just something. But it stays there and it's like coming back faster and faster. And this is when you know at some stage people burst. People have burnouts. We hear this all the time at the workplace, that people just like reach the limit and the lid is flying off. You don't want to get to this point. You want to really take a step back, pull that handbrake and say, I need to do something for myself right now. I can feel it. I feel not well. This is like the first sign. You know, inside your body tells you we are not well. And this is when you and your brain tries to logically find out, where is this coming from? And this is, I think, then the second clue that you can have. You need to look, where is my life totally out of balance? Am I working too hard? Am I not like gaining enough quality time energy from my family? While I'm spending quality time with my family, am I drifting off back to work? What is it that is giving me stress? It could also be like problems with friends, society pressure, bullying. There's so many things, but it's important to figure out why. And once you know why, then you can really grasp the concept and like figure out how you can help yourself.
Okay, very important to do self-checks then.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Before your lid blows off.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Now, let's sum up. Do you have any final words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our viewers, Marissa?
Yes. I think another important thing, or a tip or a fun fact that I can give on the way, which I think helped me a lot, is lots of people are maybe looking at anxiety like it's a bad thing. People go, I feel so anxious all the time. My mental health is not well because of my anxiety. And we hear this word over and over again. But anxiety, at the first and foremost, is an alarm system that your body is giving you that something is not right. So people try to shrug it off and put it in a box and don't want to like deal with it or talk about it and just hope it goes away. But if you see it as an alarm system, it means that somebody is not doing well, we need to fix it. If not, this alarm bell will keep on ringing. So instead of pushing it away, you should truly embrace it. And there's like lots of forms of anxieties that come really from our mindset as well, because we think that everything that we think is true, which is not, because our thoughts are not infinite truth. Our thoughts are just thoughts about somebody else's perspective or like our realities, but they're not ultimate truth. For example, when you say, my boss doesn't like me, it's something that you tell yourself, and if you keep telling this yourself, you will believe it's true. But this might not be the truth of your boss at all. Maybe a misunderstanding that you have interpreted, like, he was looking at me weirdly, he must not like my presentation. And this becomes like a negative thought rumination where you keep being in this like mental loop of getting then sometimes down to like social anxiety or like anxiety for like public speaking, things like that. I am a very introverted person, but in my career life, I seem to be very extroverted. So public speaking gives me anxiety. So I needed to sit in the car outside and really like read about everything that I wrote and like really get into the zone. And I think this is important for anyone who struggles with public speaking, because lots of people do, is that confidence comes from competence. That's like what I tell my clients always. The more you know what you want to say, the more confident you will be. So you can practice and practice. Sometimes when people go into presentations at work or like speaking at a seminar, they're not well prepared. So I tell my clients when we talk about communication, public speaking, is to go over it over and over again until you are competent enough about the material that you're going to present, and this gives you that extra confidence boost that you need because you know this. And deep breaths before and after.
Deep breaths, got it. Yeah, I totally advocate for that as well. I think repetition is definition. And on that note, we can do this again sometime.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
We can do it the other way next time.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marissa.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll chat again soon. We hope you all feel inspired and empowered to take better care of yourselves after listening to this interview. Remember, prioritizing your well-being is essential for achieving success, happiness, and fulfillment in life. Take care of yourself, be kind to others, and to all the superwomen out there, happy Mother's Day. Stay tuned for our next episode, which will feature more insights and analysis. I'm Rashan Gidwani, and you've been watching Tea Time Tuesday. Please like and subscribe for more. See you again.